Hello everyone, welcome to my channel SW Metro official channel.
Brown family, as depicted in Sister Wives, can be traced back to one central force, Robyn Brown's insatiable greed. From the moment she entered the plural marriage, Robyn's demands, manipulations, and financial drain on the family created irreversible fractures, ultimately stripping the other wives, Mary, Janelle, and Christine, of the stability, affection, and resources they once enjoyed. What began as a supposedly harmonious union devolved into a toxic hierarchy where Robyn's needs always came first, while the other women were left scrambling for scraps. Her relentless pursuit of preferential treatment, combined with Kody's blatant favoritism, led to the collapse of the entire family structure, leaving the once thriving sister wives in emotional and financial ruin. Robyn's arrival marked the beginning of the end for the Browns' balanced dynamic. Before her, the family operated on a system of rough equality. Each wife had her own space, a fair share of Kody's time, and a voice in financial decisions. But Robyn, from the outset, demanded more. She entered the family with substantial debt, which Kody immediately took on, straining the collective finances. Worse, she insisted on an extravagant, legally recognized wedding, something the other wives never received, while also securing a disproportionately large share of Kody's attention. This favoritism bred resentment, as the original wives watched their husbands' loyalty shift entirely to Robyn, leaving them emotionally abandoned. Financially, Robyn's impact was catastrophic. While the other wives contributed to the family pot, Robyn's spending habits were unchecked. She pushed for expensive moves, first to Las Vegas, then to Flagstaff, each time uprooting the family under the guise of necessity, though the decisions always seemed to align with her personal preferences. The purchase of the $1 million McMansion in Flagstaff, while Christine was relegated to a cramped rental and Janelle lived in an RV, perfectly illustrated Robyn's greed. She justified these luxuries with claims of needing space for her children, while the other wives were forced into financial hardship. The family's resources, once shared equitably, were now funneled into Robyn's comfort, leaving the others struggling to make ends meet. Emotionally, Robyn's manipulation was even more destructive. She positioned herself as the perpetual victim, weaponizing tears to control Kody and paint the other wives as obstacles to their true love. Her influence over Kody grew so absolute that he began openly disparaging his other marriages, adopting Robyn's narrative that the original wives were somehow failing him. This emotional alienation reached its peak during the COVID-19 pandemic, when Robyn and Kody enforced strict rules that isolated the rest of the family, using health concerns as an excuse to further monopolize Kody's time. The other wives, particularly Christine, were treated as outsiders in their own family, their needs dismissed while Robyn's desires dictated every decision. By the time Christine left, followed by Janelle and eventually Mary, the damage was irreparable. The luxury of sisterhood, the shared love, resources, and mutual support that once defined their plural marriage, had been completely eroded by Robyn's selfishness. The other wives were left with nothing, no financial security, no emotional connection to Kody, and no unity among themselves. Robyn, meanwhile, remained ensconced in her mansion, legally married to Kody, having achieved exactly what she wanted, the undivided attention of their husband and the lion's share of the family's wealth. In the end, Robyn's greed didn't just disrupt the Brown family, it annihilated it. The other wives, once content in their roles, were forced to walk away with nothing, while Robyn reaped the rewards of her calculated maneuvering. The plural marriage that was supposed to be built on equality and sacrifice became a monument to favoritism and exploitation, proving that one person's selfishness can destroy everything in its path. At the center of this unraveling is Robyn Brown, whose insatiable need for control, financial advantage, and preferential treatment ultimately shattered the fragile harmony of the plural marriage, leaving Mary, Janelle, and Christine stripped of their security, dignity, and the luxuries they once enjoyed. From the moment Robyn entered the family, her presence disrupted the delicate balance that had existed among the wives. While Kody Brown bears significant responsibility for his blatant favoritism, Robyn's calculated actions, her constant demands for more resources, her emotional monopolization of Kody, and her role in ostracizing the other wives, directly contributed to the financial and emotional ruin of the family. Robyn's greed manifested most glaringly in the family's financial decisions. Before her arrival, the Browns operated on a rough system of equality, with resources distributed among the wives based on need. However, Robyn's entry shifted this dynamic drastically. Despite joining the family with substantial debt, reportedly over $30,000 in credit card bills and a maxed-out Victoria's Secret card, she quickly became the primary beneficiary of the family's collective funds. While Christine struggled to feed her children on a meager budget and Janelle pinched pennies to keep the family afloat, Robyn insisted on expensive jewelry, a lavish wedding dress, and a disproportionately large share of Kody's time and attention. This financial imbalance only worsened over time. The move to Flagstaff, largely orchestrated by Robyn under the guise of protecting Dayton, her son from a previous marriage, plunged the family into further economic instability. The decision was impulsive and costly, forcing the sale of the Las Vegas homes at a loss and leaving the other wives scrambling to secure housing while Robyn and Kody purchased a nearly $1 million mansion. The Flagstaff move was a breaking point for the other wives. Christine, already emotionally neglected, found herself in a cramped rental with no support from Kody, who spent the majority of his time at Robyn's house. Janelle, always the pragmatic and financially savvy wife, was left to navigate the chaos alone, eventually resorting to living in an RV while Robyn enjoyed a fully furnished home. Mary, long since pushed to the outskirts of the family, remained isolated in her bed and breakfast, her financial contributions to the family ignored while Robyn's needs were prioritized. The cruel irony was that Robyn, who had entered the family with nothing, now lived in luxury while the original wives, who had sacrificed for years to build the family's wealth, were left with dwindling resources and no reciprocity. Beyond finances, Robyn's emotional manipulation played a key role in the family's disintegration. She positioned herself as the perpetual victim, weaponizing tears to manipulate Kody into siding with her against the other wives. Her insistence on strict COVID-19 protocols, while understandable in part, was used as a tool to further isolate Kody from the rest of the family. While Christine and Janelle begged for compromise to maintain family unity, Robyn's inflexibility drove a deeper wedge, ultimately giving Kody an excuse to abandon his other marriages entirely. Her role as the obedient wife, always echoing Kody's sentiments and reinforcing his narcissistic tendencies, made her complicit in the emotional abuse the other wives endured. By the time Christine left, it was clear that Robyn had won. She had Kody's undivided attention, the lion's share of resources, and no competition for his affection. The fallout was devastating. Christine, after years of neglect, courageously walked away, reclaiming her independence but losing the family structure she had dedicated her life to. Janelle, once Kody's intellectual equal and a stabilizing force, eventually followed, realizing that loyalty to a man who no longer valued her was pointless. Mary, though she lingered, was a ghost in the family, her presence tolerated but never cherished. Meanwhile, Robyn and Kody played the blame game, painting themselves as martyrs while the other wives rebuilt their lives from scratch. The luxury of sisterhood, of shared love and mutual support, was gone, replaced by resentment and betrayal. In the end, Robyn's greed didn't just destroy the other wives' marriages, it exposed the hypocrisy at the heart of Kody's leadership. Plural marriage, as the Browns once preached, was supposed to be about equality, sacrifice, and love. Instead, it became a hierarchy with Robyn at the top, the other wives discarded when they were no longer useful. The tragedy isn't just that the family fell apart, it's that Robyn's unchecked selfishness ensured that when it did, she was the only one left standing on the wreckage. The other wives lost their homes, their husband, and their dreams, while Robyn, the perpetual taker, reaped the benefits of their downfall. If there's any lesson to be learned, it's that greed, when left unchecked, consumes everything, leaving nothing but broken lives in its wake.